Buonasera a tutti. We have had Friday free practice around the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza for the Italian Grand Prix this weekend. I am so hyped for this race this weekend, guys. And going off of the practice results, the things that we've seen in practice, we really do have a great race in the off-in force Sunday. But let's focus on what's happened today on Friday. Let's have a look at the 5 things that we learned, the 5 main highlights from Italian Grand Prix, FP1 and FP2. So where else are we going to start then other with Scuderia Ferrari? We have to talk about them. They are the hometown heroes, as it were, and they're looking pretty good, it's fair to say. In FP1, Charles Leclerc and Sir Lewis Hamilton were 1 and 2, very much raising hopes from the Tifosi that they were going to repeat that in FP2, and while they didn't quite manage that, it's still looking good for them overall. Charles Leclerc in 2nd place and Sir Lewis Hamilton in P5. Hamilton does, of course, have that grid penalty, but I think both of these drivers will be hoping for at least strong points, at least a top 5 or so, if not a podium on Sunday. It wasn't perfect for the men in red overalls, though, as both Ferraris ran wide through the Lesmos, and also Charles Leclerc went across the Ascari chicane, though thankfully no major damage done, and their pace overall was pretty solid. We also saw some free practice drivers in the Italian Grand Prix free practice one as well, as Alex Dunn was in the McLaren and also Paul Aron was in the Alpine. Dunn did pretty good, it's fair to say. He was held up by Ollie Behrman at one point, but his session was relatively solid. Paul Aron, meanwhile, though, did have a spin through the Della Roggia chicane, but he was still looking pretty decent in that car, very much fueling rumours that he may well replace Franco Colapinto at some point in that Alpine, although I personally doubt it at that point, but that's a discussion topic for another day. Third thing that we learned is that Carlos Sainz, P3 in both sessions. Now, Williams have not had the best run, really, in recent times, especially in the hands of Carlos Sainz, who, by his own admission, is really struggling in that car, but yeah, a provisional podium place for Carlos Sainz so far this weekend. Williams looking very good. Alex Albon as well, P7 and FP2. That car is really suiting the long straights at Monza, which is what we expected in all fairness. However, another Mercedes-powered team, Mercedes, they are not looking good at all, really. George Russell brought out the red flags in FP1, some kind of mechanical failure putting him out early in that one, and also Kimi Antonelli was out early in FP2 as well, not because of a mechanical gremlin, he just spun off at the Lesmo. A lot of drivers really finding the Lesmos very difficult this weekend so far. Of course, the cars run the lowest downforce settings of the entire season here, which makes them very quick along the straights, but it makes them very tricky to control in the corners. And the last thing, of course, we have to talk about McLaren, another Mercedes-powered team. These guys looking the best of them all, though, as you would usually expect. Although, of course, they missed out on the 2 top spots in FP1, they were back to the top again in FP2. Lando Norris using a bit more experience of the track over Oscar Piastri, because Piastri was the guy who sat out to allow Dunn to go in the car. He was at the top of the standings by the end of FP2. Oscar Piastri was a relatively solid P4 in FP2. Just over a 10th off his teammates. It's going to be tight. It's going to be competitive. Ferrari, McLaren, they're in the running for pole position. You can't rule out Max Verstappen, of course, but Red Bull, relatively anonymous so far this weekend. They've been okay, but nothing special really. So this could be a difficult weekend for them as well. Little bonus thing that we learned there. But what were your main highlights from FP1 and FP2 around Monza today? Let us know in the comments below, guys. And who's getting pole position tomorrow? My money, as I've said, is going to be on Norris for the win, but I'm going to go with Oscar Piastri to get pole position tomorrow. But we'll see what happens, of course, on Saturday afternoon. Have a great day wherever in the world today, guys. See you very soon for much more content just like this on the world of Formula 1. Buonanotte a tutti.